Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Recently I bought my wife an electric bike from a company called Lectric, which is the word electric without the leading E. The first evening that we rode it at sunset, I noticed that there was a bright stripe down the middle of the display, so I went ahead and filed a warranty claim. The company sent me a replacement, and I'd like to show you the fix if you'll stick around, so let's get after it. I ended up having to wait about 2 weeks for this replacement display to arrive. The company told me they were back ordered. No instructions were included, and I toyed with the idea of taking the bike to an authorized dealer, but decided to try to swap it out myself since Lectric included the display mount and controller. I suspect our new display will default to factory settings. If you want to retain your custom changes, be sure and cycle through your settings prior to swapping out this display. Grab your Torx or hex wrench or socket and remove the 2 bolts holding down the display clamps. There is a small nut on the back side. The new display assembly includes these bolts and nuts. Spread the legs of the display clamps like this and slide the display off the handlebar. These vibration sleeves will come off with the old display. Although the replacement assembly includes these sleeves, this is a brand new bike and I'm just going to reuse these. Use this Torx or a hex bit to remove the 1 bolt and nut holding on the controller. Spread the legs of the controller and remove it from the handlebar. Unwind the plastic wire loom down to the connection bundle as shown. Firmly grasp both sides of the display connection and pull straight apart, and now you may set aside the old display assembly. Before we move on, note how the male end of the connector, which is keyed, lines up with the female end. As we set up to install the new display, the bolts and nuts on the clamp arms and controller will need to be removed. Also, the vibration sleeves will be set aside since I'm keeping my original ones. Carefully spread the legs on the new clamps and install the display on the handlebar. Were it to be cold outside, I would recommend warming up this assembly to room temperature first to avoid breaking the legs during this part. There is not an easy way to remove the display from the leg mounts to reorder them, so you definitely want to avoid accidentally breaking or cracking these plastic legs. The display nuts fit into a hex-shaped opening molded into the plastic leg. This nut will fall out and will need to be held in place with your finger while inserting and tightening the bolt. I'm using my socket only to lightly secure the bolt. And, of course, we repeat for the other display mount clamp. With the clamp bolts still loose, carefully rotate the display to your desired angle. No torque settings were provided, but since these clamp legs contain rubber vibration sleeves, just a few turns of the bolt will be all that is required to compress the rubber sleeves. To mount the controller, first fit the hex nut into its molded opening and hold in place with your finger while spreading the controller legs to install it on the handlebar. Again, while holding the nut in place on the back side, screw in the mounting bolt like this. Adjust the angle to your taste and carefully snug up this connection. Match the keyed male wire connection from the display to the female receptacle and firmly press together. The plastic wire loom is now replaced. Although my video camera frame rate causes the screen to look funny, the display powers up just fine and looks perfect to the naked eye. Just as I suspected, however, the mileage is set to 0. Cycling through all the settings confirms that they have been all reset to factory defaults as well. Use your owner's manual as a reference and reset these settings to your preferences. The only step remaining is to peel off the screen protector. I'm glad I chose to replace this display myself, as it was an easy fix and this project is complete.